Hello everyone. My name is Dai Chi, and I will give you a lecture regarding the radiation and remediation activities. So, let's start today's lecture. Today's theme is Volume Reduction and Recycling of Removed Soil, Volume 2. Are you ready? So last time, with regard to the removed soil arising from decontamination activities, I talked about current situation, as well as background for promotion of volume reduction and recycling.
Right. I think this time we move on to the more specific approach and methods for them.
Correct. So let us begin with the volume reduction of removed soil, arising from decontamination activities.
But soil is basically incombustible, so I think that it is difficult to reduce its volume, isn't it?
Yes, that is the point. That's why an approach of concentration is currently under consideration. One of the approaches for concentration is called classification, taking advantage of characteristics of radioactive cesium, which firmly binds to very small, fine soil particles, like clay minerals. To make the long story short, this is a method to collect radioactive cesiums, which are firmly attached to small soil particles, with as small volume of soil as possible, by separating large particles with small particles, using screen with mesh.
I see. It is an approach, taking advantage of the characteristic of radioactive cesium, that it easily attaches to small soil particles. Are there any other methods for concentration?
Well, one of the representative examples under consideration is burning. This is technology to vapor and collect radioactive cesium, bound to soil particles, by adding additive and heating under high temperature environment, with more than 1000 degrees Celsius, to change crystal structure of soil, arising from decontamination activities.
In contrast with the aforementioned classification, which physically separates the radioactive cesium, burning separates radioactive cesium chemically, under high temperature environment.
That's right. However, both technologies need large-scale facilities, as well as a great deal of energy. And concentration makes the management easier, after the volume reduction, but it needs to be kept in mind that it also becomes necessary to manage radioactive waste, with high radioactivity concentration. In addition, there are other technologies under consideration, but let's finish the introduction of representative examples, and move on to the part of recycling.
So, how is the recycling of soil, arising from decontamination activities specifically implemented?
To make the long story short, quality of soil, arising from decontamination activities is controlled, with relatively low level of radioactivity concentration, according to its purpose for use, and it is covered with soil and other materials, which are usually used for each purpose, in terms of radiation protection and prevention of runoff of the soil, followed by use of the upper part of the construction.
I see. It is covered with soil, usually used for each purpose. By the way, what is the level of, the relatively low level of radioactivity concentration, and how was the criterion decided?
The criterion is 8,000 becquerel per kilogram or less, which was covered previously, and it was decided to keep the additional dose to workers on the construction, as well as people around the site, 1 millisievert or less per year. And it is expected that the construction is managed by public authority to manage it for a long time, and in a stable manner.
I see. Where are the recycling projects specifically implemented?
Actually, at this point of time, no large-scale projects, but instead only demonstration projects are implemented. For example, in Nagadoro district, in Itachi village, located in the northern part of Fukushima prefecture, a demonstration project has been implemented, in which rice paddies and other crops are cultivated, on the soil arising from decontamination activities, to be used for basis of the farmland, after necessary treatment, and it is further covered with soil, which is usually used for the farming. As a result of the demonstration project, it was reported that radioactivity concentration of the cultivated crops has been much less than 100 becquerel per kilogram, a criterion for distribution to markets. In addition, no big changes have been observed for surrounding air dose rate. Another example is a demonstration project in a road embankment implemented in the premise of the Interim Storage Facility. Here the soil arising from decontamination activities is used in a part of road body, and both sides are covered with soil. For the upper part of the road, called roadbed, the embankment is covered with soil and other materials, which are used for usual road construction. In addition, a driveway and a sidewalk are constructed, as done for actual roads, and its safety is reviewed by actually driving vehicles on the embankment. At this point of time, it has been confirmed that additional dose to workers on site is 1 millisievert per year or less, and that no changes have been observed for air dose rate at the border of the site, before and after the embankment operation, and necessary monitoring is supposed to be continuously implemented.
I see. Currently it is in the step of demonstration projects. After the demonstration projects, will it move on to the large-scale projects?
Correct. However, in order to promote recycling projects, in addition to consideration from the technical perspective, like ensuring its safety, measures need to be taken to gain nationwide understanding, like addressing concerns about radioactive materials. Next time, I would like to talk about measures relevant to the recycling project's future schedule, as well as issues to be addressed. So, let me wrap up my lecture by providing you the key points. Today, as a continuous work from the previous, first of all, as one of approaches for volume reduction of soil arising from decontamination activities, I talked about examples of technology development to concentrate radioactive cesium, which is one of the major radioactive nuclides still remaining in the environment. Specifically, classification and burning were elaborated. And I also explained that appropriate management of radioactive cesium with high radioactivity concentration is needed, which is generated as a result of concentration procedures. With regard to the approach for the recycling of soil arising from decontamination activities, specifically, the upper part of the construction is utilized by covering soil with relatively low radioactivity concentration of 8,000 becquerel per kilogram at maximum, with soil which is usually used for each purpose. Currently, demonstration projects are implemented, and soil arising from decontamination activities is used for construction of farmland and road embankment. So far, the result of the projects has represented that radioactivity concentration of cultivated crops is much less than the criterion for distribution to the market, and in addition, no big changes on and around the site is observed. Okay, today's lecture is now dismissed. See you next time. In this channel, useful information regarding the radiation and remediation will be provided to you. If you like it, please subscribe to this channel, and do not forget to click the like button.